The cost to grade sports cards is lower than it's been in 18 plus months. What does it mean for the sports card hobby ahead? We are going to dig in a little bit today. Stick around. Hello to all my sports card collectors, investors, all of my collectibles friends. It is another day. It is another card video. We are back again. We have made it to the weekend. This one will be kind of quick. It was just a quick thought that I had, and I wanted to put a video together about it. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below. We are growing like a weed and we need you. Come on, grab onto that thing.
This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Also, make sure to connect with me on IG. It's where I share a lot of my pickups, a lot of my mail days, etc. I try to do some real stuff because you can throw in music. It's kind of fun. And I'm also on the Twitter, the Sports Card Dad. Shout out to today's video sponsor. It is Card Shop Live. If you haven't checked them out yet, make sure to do so. It is a new-ish selling app and it is a fun time. I will put the link in the video description to get the app as well as in the comments. I'll pin it in the comments. Check it out. All right, guys, it seems like it was just yesterday, but going back to February, March, April of 2021, believe it or not, we are coming up on almost 2 years. We're talking about like 20 months ago. PSA shut down. Really, what was it? Was it March or April? And Beckett basically shut down. A lot of the companies were very, very slow. They were backlogged like crazy. And we had basically stoppage in the grading game. It stopped a lot of the momentum that was happening. Now, a lot of people can say like, hey, prices were way too high. Kind of needed a cooling off period anyway. And absolutely, I agree with that. And not to say that grading is everything when it came to kind of that boom. Certainly wasn't. But look, let's not kid ourselves. I mean, over the last, 5 years or so, 5 or 6 years, a lot of folks have gotten into the buying raw, grading, and selling game. That is really a lot of what has been going on in the hobby. Third-party grading, while it's not perfect and it's not for everybody, it does offer another piece of nuance when you're looking at a sort of collectible. It doesn't matter if it's a card or a comic book or whatever. Nowadays, a VHS tape, throw that in the mix. But the point is that it adds another little piece of nuance there. And for one-of-ones and for, stuff like that, and maybe it's not as important. Maybe you just throw an authentic grade on it. Maybe people are fine with that. But there's a lot of cards where the 8 matters, the 9 matters, is it a 10? And so that is kind of a fun way to differentiate between cards. It's also kind of fun debate too. I think we can agree there is a lot of that game of like, wow, I thought this was going to be a 9. Well, what would it be with another company or that company? And that's kind of a fun thing. So not having as much kind of action in the grading game, I think it's had a really big impact over the last 18 months on the card hobby as a whole. Well, now we are kind of fully operational. We've got 4, really, when we're talking about the major 4 companies. I know there's other companies out there as well that are also trying to gain ground, so kudos to them. But just talking about the big 4, they are really all caught up on their backlog. PSA, it looks like, is pretty much there. If they're not there, they're getting really close. And now we have the lowest pricing really across the board with all companies as low as what, $18 a card, maybe $15 a card for some companies. I mean, it is really getting down to where it's not pre-pandemic pricing. I mean, a lot of people were upset. Oh, everyone's sending these base cards. Everyone's sending them a billion base cards that they should never have graded. Well, bulk at PSA at the time was $8 a card if we're going back to 2020. So $8 a card. If we did get back to $8 a card, would you probably see some base rookie cards going in for grading? You probably would at $8 a card. The one thing that's changed, though, that's a little bit different if we're talking about almost 2 years later with the new product is you have, yes, you've got the base cards, but the absolute number of parallels now, it's almost like why even bother sending the base cards in because there's so many different types of parallels, patch cards, mem cards, auto cards. I think Mac Jones has 1,000 different one-of-ones. The collectibles guru on Twitter is a follow that you have to have. You got to follow this guy because he's been doing this work where he's showing, I think there was a Justin Fields one here the other day. I'll try to post it if I can find it, but basically he's got, 1,000 different one-of-ones or 500 different one-of-ones. Folks, that's just the one-of-one cards. That's not getting into the prisms and all the different colors of the rainbow there. It's not getting into all the other cards that this guy has. So the point is that you just have a massive, massive saturation of parallels. And so really, sending in base cards is almost kind of a waste of time because every single box has got some sort of hit. Now, I think we have to define what a hit is nowadays, because obviously not everything is going to be worth, not everything is a hit in that it's worth money. In fact, a lot of the stuff really isn't. It isn't worth money, but the companies are trying to respond to the demand of, we're looking for hits, we're in these breaks, we're looking for cool variety of cards, we're looking for different types of stuff. And so not having as many base cards and then having a bunch of different hits is really the trend of the day. And we don't know, our card manufacturer is going to change that up over time. Who knows? Probably not, frankly. I mean, it's all going to depend on what sells and what doesn't sell. But the main point here is that now we're back to the grading game is back on. It's back on. I know for some it never left. For some, they've been sending certain cards in at $50, $75 price points. But when you get down to $15, $18 a card, it really opens it up for a lot of cards. There's a lot of different cards that fit into that bucket. The one thing that's going to be interesting, though, on the other side of this coin is, are there sellers on the back end? Excuse me, not sellers. Are there buyers on the back end for the stuff? So you're getting the stuff graded, you get a good grade on it, fantastic. Can you then sell on the other side of the coin? And that's where I think, that macroeconomic stuff that we talk about, will there be the demand for those graded cards on the other end enough to where there's profit there? And yeah, it's not going to be 2020, 2021 profits most likely on most of the stuff, but is there still a way to kind of, buy and sell and kind of churn? Because that's what is really fun about the hobby, is there is the ability to buy, sell, trade, and kind of like strategically go after certain niches, and try to grade those and turn them over and then use that to then boost your PC or whatever, so there's that gamification involved in buying raw and grading and seeing how that works out. So we are back. That game is back, I think. That's just my opinion. I know there's a lot of folks that are like, hey, this thing is dead. The sports card hobby is dead. It's 2010 all over again and everything is going to hell in a handbasket, and that's totally fine. I get it. I'm with you in the sense that I don't really know, obviously none of us know what's coming economically over the next 6 months, year, etc. There are negative forces at play with the Fed fund rate and inflation and all that stuff. We talk about it, but it's an interesting time, and that the next 6 months are going to be very interesting. The next really 12 months, I think. I really want to see what the National looks like next year. I really want to see what the Mint Collective in March looks like. I plan to be out there in Las Vegas in March. There's going to be some interesting things in 2023, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you back in the game? Are you back in the buying raw to grade? Because I think that's where I'm at now. I'm looking at a variety of different things. I'm stockpiling raw cards that I really like and looking at different opportunities to grade. Maybe sell some of it, maybe hold some of it. There's different strategies for different things. But guys, let me know what your plan is. I want to hear it in the comments. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.